I know nothing about anything. That's sad to say, but it's pretty much the truth. And yet, I want to be a writer. When I consider my self image, I envision a younger man, waking before dawn, energized and inspired to give birth to imaginary worlds which marvel and entertain. The image of myself is a fantasy. I'm no longer a young man, and I'm completely nocturnal, going to sleep after sunrise rather than rising before dawn. And I'm completely devoid of inspiration and imagination, and I know nothing about anything. It also doesn't help that my fingers are dyslexic, forcing me to produce my words orally rather than through a keyboard. Right now, I'm using Speech Texter. It's a free website I discovered after completely giving up on Dragon Naturally Speaking. The app has its quirks and limitations, but all in all, it does suit my purpose. However, the problem here is that my vision of myself is creating these great works while sitting in my screen enclosed patio, where my vocalizations may be overheard by any neighbor walking his or her dog, and may not recognize my utterances as fiction. My neighbors already think of me as pretty strange. And yet, as I said, I know nothing about anything. For the last 23 years, I've owned an internet marketing and SEO agency. It's a profession where strategies, which are mere theories to begin with, change about every 6 months. I could have been in a coma for the last 22 and a half years and have as much knowledge as I actually do today. But please don't tell my clients. To make matters worse, neither marketing nor search engine optimization are particular passions of mine. It's just what I do to pay the mortgage and keep my kid in college. But passion or not, it does require a lot of time and effort to keep up with all the insane speculations and changes. And so, for the last 23 years, I've devoted my time to learning a skill in which I have absolutely no interest, sacrificing all things that I do find stimulating. I've never loved money. I like having some. I like the ability to order pizza and Chinese food without having to budget. But I've never had any riches or loved any. To me, the only purpose of money is to buy my freedom from ever giving a shit about money. Unfortunately, my not being predisposed to wealth has left me with a Social Security check which will not permit for culinary discretion. In fact, it barely pays enough for me to keep sleeping under a roof, but that's a story for another time. Which forces me to continue work which has bored the fuck out of me for decades. And I know that I will inevitably be dying at my desk. Actually, on this couch, because I do most of my work on a laptop. But I have no hope of ever retiring. It's actually not a bad life. I figured out a way to maximize my freedom through outsourcing menial and time-consuming tasks, which ironically include content writing. And now have the time, should I take it, to do what I wanted to do all along, which is to write. And that brings me to the inescapable fact that spending all this time immersed in a wasteland of marketing, instead of increasing my depth and understanding of the world, leaves me with the truth that I know nothing about anything. Actually, I do have some knowledge. I understand politics. I'm obsessed with politics. Unfortunately, that knowledge is as ephemeral and useless as my SEO acumen. A political commentary and concern in this age of civic impotence is merely a form of masturbation. It's a complete waste of time. and a complete waste of emotional energy. I wish I could stop. I wish I cared less. Besides, I want to write speculative fiction, and were I to incorporate contemporary issues into my work, I would automatically condemning that work to the shadows of anachronism. And I've wasted enough time in my life. So, about my blog and this vlog, it's probably going to be boring since I'm boring. And I know nothing about anything. So don't read or watch it. Or read only one or two posts, watch only one or two videos to see whether this old atrophied brain has learned anything worth a damn and has retained enough creativity to spawn an occasional interesting piece. Writing and video for me at this time is largely a whoring endeavor. I need to perpetuate my existence by earning at least a modest source of income to supplement my meager government droppings, for which I've worked for more than 67 years, while at the time paying tribute to my creative spirit through the immersion of something that makes me glad that I'm still breathing. And hence, this vlog or blog, whichever you're on.